The Off-Road Zone is brought to you by CF Moto. Exceed your expectations. Honda. Yamaha. Chaco. Hello everyone, and welcome to Off-Road Zone, Canada's newest televised adventure that will take you off the beaten path and onto some of Canada's and sometimes the USA's best kept off-road secrets. With 9,984,670 square kilometers, it's no wonder we like to go play outside. From sea to shining sea, our country offers lush forests, prairies, and mountainous regions. Canada has it all, and it's ours for the taking. There's obviously a great number of ways to enjoy this diverse environment at our disposal, be it on an ATV, in a side-by-side, on a motorcycle, on a snowmobile, in a 4x4 truck. Off-Road Zone will try and show you the best areas to venture out into to have good, clean, and safe fun into the wilderness. Okay, maybe we're not so sure about the clean part. On the Off-Road Zone this season, we'll take you to the Orange Crush Motorcycle Navigation Rally, where the good old road book is your best friend. Speed is not the way to go, and precision riding is your best bet. Leaving the twisted trails of the Orange Crush Rally, we'll visit the Gaspésie region of Quebec, where each year ATV and UTV enthusiasts can take part in the biggest off-road jamboree this side of the equator. Since we'll already be in the area, we'll also enjoy some dirt trails behind the wheel of a Jeep in the Chic-Choc mountain range. Continuing east, we'll stop into New Brunswick in the Edmundston area to check out the ATV and UTV scene. To finish off our eastbound road trip, we'll head off to Nova Scotia's Bay of Fundy area to meet up with some very passionate ATVers. As if this wasn't already enough, we'll manage to sneak you into our luggage and take you with us to West Yellowstone, Montana for the annual Snow Shoot, where we'll have an exclusive look at the 2016 snowmobile lineup from all the different manufacturers. We plan on having a great time enjoying the outdoors and discovering everything that nature has to offer us while we venture out on the trails with our various off-road vehicles. We hope you'll stick with us week after week and enjoy our show as much as we enjoy riding for it. After the break, we dive right in with an adrenaline-packed event that takes place every year in Quebec, where riders of a whole bunch of different off-road vehicles get to measure their skills and endurance against one another in the 12-hour endurance event in La Tuque, Quebec. Stay tuned. La Tuque is well known as the capital of anything off-road. Located just 3 hours northeast of Montreal, it's situated right in the middle of Quebec's best riding trails. Once you get there, you immediately go into vacation mode. Other than its amazing trail riding opportunities, La Tuque is also known for its amazing fishing and hunting. With more than 100 outfitters in the area, you'll not have any problems whatsoever finding a lodge that'll suit your needs and exceed your expectations. In the last 10 years, the Tourism Office has doubled its efforts to make sure that everything is always perfect when you choose to come and have fun in their neck of the woods. Our crew has been to La Tuque many times, and we're always amazed at their welcome and the attention they put into details to make sure that our stay is as perfect as it can get. The endurance race has been going on for 12 years now, but the UTVs have only made their grand entrance 3 years ago in this event that grows each year in popularity. The event is called the 12 Hours of La Tuque Endurance Race because the quads go at it for 3 separate 4-hour-long segments. This takes place on a 4-kilometer track where man and machine need to be well prepared. It's no easy task. If this didn't strike you as crazy enough, there's also a portion of the race that's being held at night. Believe it or not, a lot of the spectators stay trackside, while the others move under the tents for some fun with music from a live band and, of course, some refreshments. For the last 3 years, the promoters have developed a 2-hour-long UTV race. The UTVs use the same track as the quads do, but it's been modified in length so to keep the spectators on the edge of their seats. The race is held in 2 one-hour-long segments. The first one is held on the Saturday evening, and the final one is held on the Sunday morning. All the big names were there: the Mavericks, the Razors, the Wildcats, and even the all-new Sniper 800s from CF Moto. Usually the race starts out very fast, but it doesn't take too long before we see some breakdowns. It's then that drivers are reminded that this is a 2-hour-long haul, not just a sprint. It was in May 2015 that we made our way to the 12 Hours of La Tuque Endurance Race. This race has been going on for the last 14 years, and every year we are surprised by the growing number of people in attendance. What started as this crazy idea to replicate the 12 Hours of Pont de Vaux event in France has now become one of the biggest race events of its type in the world. It's Mr. Danny Gagnon, the general manager of the Quebec Federation of ATV Clubs, that helped bring this concept over to Canadian soil and also raise the event to its current fame and success. The event is now run by the city of La Tuque, and at the helm, Mr. David Duchesneau. Our very own producer-director Ken McDonald was invited again this year in order to be part of the CF Moto racing team. This year, they raced with an impressive 7 vehicles in the stock category and with 3 more machines in the open class. Their idea was to bring drivers from different backgrounds and use vehicles that came straight out of the production line with no modifications and try to aim for a spot on the podium, which they got several times in the last 4 years.
I like driving anything pretty much, you know, if I can make a living at it and jumping and racing, that's, you know, it's a fun way to make a living. It's a good natural high for sure, you know, like hitting the jumps and that, but I've been doing it so long, it's kind of like I'm just used to it, you know? So, but it's still, yeah, it's fun to do. And as long as it's fun, I want to keep doing it.
Professional racers worldwide know about this event, and many of them make it a mission to come and try to tame the dirt track. Unfortunately, a lot of them fail, but have the time of their lives while trying. It always looks easy to the untrained eye, but it's far from that.
It's a sport, and when it comes to anybody athletic, like as far as the sports are concerned, and I consider this a sport,
yeah, it is.
Let's be honest, you put us anywhere, we want to win.
The track itself is just short of 4 kilometers long, and the terrain varies considerably. Some areas are made of hard-packed dirt, while others are made of very deep, loose sand. Some portions of the track are wide enough to allow easy passing, while others are narrow and carved through the forest. All in all, you need to bring your A game to this track, otherwise you won't be able to keep the rubber side of your vehicle down.
It was really interesting. The racing in general was a lot different from what I'm used to. An hour, that's a long time to go. I really enjoyed it. I come from a trail riding background in general, so I was quite prepared in that aspect. But the Le Tuque event has been phenomenal. The people, the place, it's one of a kind.
Short lap times was kind of the most, the biggest change, because we were in lappers, or being lapped with some of the big cars, but we're, in traffic constantly. It didn't matter, how fast you were going. You were either battling, going one way or the other here. It make it pretty crowded, but fun. Good time.
Still fun.
Yeah.
I think I was more nervous this year than last year, just because I was expected to do better. I just wanted to make sure that our machines worked really well for us, and all the team finished.
Coming up next, our producer got a little more than what he bargained for when he signed up to be a driver in the toughest of off-road endurance races on the planet. Stay tuned. Large-scale events such as the 12 Hours of Endurance of Le Tuque need to have a top-notch security team. Although he's now retiring, Luc Boucher has been the mastermind behind the team since the very beginning. Luc and his team pioneered all the rules and proceedings throughout the years, as nothing like this had ever been done before in Canada. His fellow team members decided to throw him a little going-away celebration. Not that he's too old, mind you, but he is moving on and leaving behind a great legacy that has made him and his team a benchmark in the off-road racing community. Ken had a little extra pressure this year since he was last year's crown champion in this category. While defending his title was his main concern, his luck decided to take a turn for the worse when he was cut off by one of his adversaries who tried to pass him a little too close. Unfortunately, the two UTVs came in contact, and that sent him into a spectacular rollover. The time it took to put his machine back on its wheels, head to the pit, and proceed with repairs made him lose 14 minutes on his total time. Unfortunately, from that point on, the podium was out of reach, but he made his best effort and was still able to finish fourth. If you thought that nothing could make this year's race in Le Tuque any more special, then you'd be wrong. We've had the privilege of meeting with Amélie Lavallée, who decided to get back into racing after a work accident left her paralyzed. Amélie used to be one of Quebec's top ATV enduro riders before she fell 35 feet to the ground while working her day job. It took her a few years to figure it out, but she always knew that one day she'd be back on a track. She started her way back to racing by practicing on the trails around her house. All the while, her and her boyfriend kept modifying her side-by-side to make sure that the setup was perfect and comfortable. The couples had to put in tremendous efforts in becoming masters of the art of modifying vehicles in order to make it safe for her to race in. All of the controls have been moved to the modified steering wheel. She also needed a special plate on the floor in order to hold her feet and legs together to make sure they wouldn't fly off on the rough track and get her hurt in the process. The final setup was perfect. Amélie managed to achieve her goal, which was to finish the whole 2-hour-long endurance race. She did so with a very respectable 8th position overall. After the event, Amélie managed to race the whole season, achieving a good ranking at most of her races. Hats off to you, Amélie, for teaching us that when you truly enjoy living out your passion, nothing can stop you.
I'll tell you, this was ultra competitive. There was a lot of banging and crashing. It's a competitive spirit. It's a sport. You know, everybody wants to win, and at the end of the day, everything was amazing. I can't say enough. It was awesome.
Yeah, it was. It was a great weekend overall. I mean, the last 2 days have just been phenomenal here. The weather's been beautiful. CF Moto has been helping out. I mean, with a full sponsorship, unbelievable weekend.
Yes, this was my very first side-by-side race and my 5th time ever on a side-by-side in general. So it was a fantastic time, and I want to keep going.
Coming up next, we'll be sharing a special project with all of you, a project called Predator. Stay tuned. On top of all the outdoor adventures we'll be showing off this season, we've decided to also share a special segment with our viewers, Project Predator. Throughout the season, you'll see us rip apart our brand new Polaris RZR 900S, a stunning side-by-side 4-seater, and put it back together with some minor upgrades.
Well, what we wanted to try to do with this project was to build a vehicle that was unique. By unique, I mean take a unit and not load it with OEM parts. Nothing wrong with OEM parts. They're great quality, well manufactured, but everybody's the same. It's very easy to go to a dealer and load up your vehicle with whoever manufacturer you choose parts, but then you all look the same. What we wanted to do is take a unit, apply our taste of aftermarket parts to it, and make it unique to our liking and what we wanted to do.
Why are we dismantling a machine that was in mint condition, completely ready to hit the trails? Will we be able to turn it into a better ride? You'll have to stay tuned and find out.
This year, we decided to go with a Polaris 900S 4-seater. Big reason why is that you know, we're big fans of the Polaris units and branding, and we felt that the 900S, especially for a 4-seater, was really great for what we wanted to accomplish, which was a trail riding, family-oriented type of unit. First, we decided to take, you know, the stock unit and basically deconstruct it. Which called for basic, you know, removing of factory plastics, rear cargo box, dropping the suspension, And then from there, we're decided we're going to put some lift kit on it, some audio equipment, some doors, aftermarket seats, harnesses, great set of tires and rims. So basically, give it a good overall once over and make it look to something that we wanted to achieve.
The dismantling step is also important because it allows us to figure out what size nuts and bolts we'll be using throughout the build. We can then figure out what tools will be needed so we can be ready when the time to rebuild comes.
We built it to be a trail riding unit. It's for sure when you look at it, that has that aggressive appeal to it, something that we wanted to portray. But the backbones that behind it is to have a trail riding unit, not a race unit, not a dune machine, not a mud machine, but really a unit specifically built to ride the trails.
What's amazing about taking such a vehicle and modifying it is the fact that straight out of the dealership, the machine is practically perfect. Anything we do will only make it even better and also make it unique. So please come back to us next week as we undertake the first steps towards a better RZR 900S. We hope you enjoyed our very first episode of the Off-Road Zone. For more information on everything you saw during tonight's episode, please come visit us at offroadzone.tv. The Off-Road Zone was brought to you by CF Moto. Exceed your expectations. Honda. Yamaha. Chaco. Until next time, we invite you to stay off the beaten path and join us again in the Off-Road Zone.